Hi guys, how's everybody doing today? I hope you are all doing great. My name is Miss Young and I make videos to help you remember the things that you already know and to teach you about some new things. So guys, today we're going to start with our question of the day, and then we are going to switch screens and we're going to do our lesson. And today our lesson is going to be about the pyramids in Egypt. Pyramids in Egypt are very, very interesting and mysterious. Have you ever heard that song, Walk Like an Egyptian? Well, that is what we're going to learn about today. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to talk about what you learned, and we are going to talk about some things that you can do at home. All right, so our question of the day today is, what should you do if your piece of toast or your waffle or your bagel gets stuck in the toaster and it starts to smoke? What should you do? Well, should you try to pull it out with a knife while it's still plugged in and while it's smoking? Or even your fingers, or just whatever to pluck that piece of toast out? Or should you unplug the toaster, wait for it to cool off, and then get a plastic utensil and try to get your toast out? So I am going to give you some time to think about that, and then we will talk about your answer. Well, guys, did you say get that knife and pluck out that toast while it's still plugged in? Not a good idea, guys. Nope, nope, nope. Did you say unplug the toaster, wait for it to cool off, and get like a plastic knife or a plastic fork, and then try to get your toast or bagel or waffle out? Aha! That is a better choice. You know what could happen, guys, when your toaster starts to smoke and your toast or your waffle or your bagel or whatever starts to burn because it's stuck down in there? If you put a metal knife in that toaster, guess what could happen? It could start a fire. And you do not want that to happen, because then it will be even a bigger emergency. Well, it will turn into an emergency, I should say, because a fire is very dangerous. So what you want to do for sure, first thing, don't forget, guys, is if this starts to smoke and you can't get it and it doesn't pop up, you've got to unplug it. Unplug the toaster and make sure you don't yank it from the wall. Make sure you hold it, on the little plug handle and pull it out gently, and then wait for it to cool off because you don't want to burn yourself. And then when you go to pry out your waffle or your toast or your bagel, use something plastic so it doesn't catch on fire. Okay, guys? Okay, so today we're going to learn about the pyramids in Egypt. Now, this is a globe, which is a model of the Earth. Earth is our planet, and the globe has all of these different colored shapes, which are all of the land that's on the Earth. And the globe also has all this blue, which is what, guys? Yes, the water. So all of our land on the Earth is split up or broken up into countries. Continents, actually. And all of the continents are split up into countries. Okay, so Egypt is on the big landform called the continent of Africa. But Africa is broken up into countries, and Egypt is a country in Africa. So Egypt is that green one right there. Okay, and a long, long time ago, the people, the Egyptian people who lived there, they built these great big giant structures, buildings, and they were shaped like triangles, and they were huge, guys, huge buildings. And they built these buildings to honor their kings and queens who passed away. And so they would, when their kings and queens passed away, they would bury them inside these big, ginormous pyramids. So we're going to learn about that next, and then we'll come back here and talk about what you learned. Ready? Okay, here we go.
A pyramid is a huge building. The four sides are shaped like triangles, and the bottom is a square. The most famous pyramids are found in Giza, Egypt. Egypt is a country on the continent of Africa. A long time ago, Egyptian kings and queens were buried inside the pyramids. Pyramids are made of stone, and each stone block is very heavy. One stone weighs thousands of pounds. It was really hard for the people a long time ago to move the blocks to build the pyramids because they didn't have any machines to help them. It is still a mystery how the Egyptians did it. The kings and queens of Egypt a long time ago were called pharaohs. When they died, their bodies were made into a mummy. They would put salt, oil, and perfume on the bodies and then wrap them with cloth. Then they would put them inside a coffin. And in the pyramids were different rooms called tombs. They would put the coffins in the rooms, and then they would fill up the rooms or tombs with the things that they thought that the kings and queens would need after they were dead. So there were treasures like jewelry, weapons, food, and furniture. And the neat thing is the pyramids had tunnels that led to all the different rooms. But over many years, people dug through the stone and stole all the treasures inside. There was one tomb, though, that had not been robbed, and that belonged to a ruler named King Tut. A man named Howard Carter discovered King Tut's tomb, and all the treasures were still inside. That made King Tut one of the most famous kings. He became king when he was only 10 years old, but he died when he was only 19 years old. So he was only a king for a very short time, and he died very, very young. He wore fashionable clothes, he wore jewelry, and he even wore eye makeup.
Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed learning all about the pyramids. Aren't they interesting? Well, we learned that the pyramids are made up of these huge, heavy stones. And the stones weigh about as much as a car. Can you lift a car by yourself? Can you lift a car with a couple of your friends helping you? No, cars are so heavy. So it is a mystery how the people who lived in Egypt a long time ago, called the Egyptians, how they built these massive, big, giant pyramids. Well, the reason why they built them is because they wanted a beautiful place to bury their kings and queens when they passed away. And so in these pyramids, they had those rooms called tombs. And that's where they would bury their kings and queens. So they would have their casket, And then we learned that they would fill up the rooms with all kinds of treasures because in their religion they believed that they needed to have their things with them when they passed away. Well, then we learned that there was grave robbers that went around and stole all the treasures, unfortunately. And so a lot of those beautiful jewels and all the carved furniture and all of the different things got stolen, except for one tomb, which was King Tut's tomb. And that is the reason why King Tut is so famous, because all of his treasures were still inside the tomb and they didn't get stolen. So, let's talk about things that you can do at home. Okay, the first thing you can do at home is you can write a sentence about why you would like to be a king or a queen of a big country. When you write a sentence, remember, that's when you have an idea and you think of words that tell about that idea, and then you write those words down on a piece of paper. And remember, your sentence has to have a capital letter at the beginning and a punctuation mark at the end, which is usually a period. Now, if you want to write more than one sentence, that's called a paragraph. So you can write a sentence or you could write a paragraph about all the things that you would do if you were king or queen. Another thing that you can do at home, guys, is you can draw a picture on a, let me see if I can, okay, get this good and crumpled. You can draw a picture on a paper bag. A lot of times when we buy things from the grocery store or any kind of store, they'll put your item in a brown paper bag. And the grocery store ones are bigger than this. So you can take a bag that you get, cut it out to whatever size you want, crumple it all up, and then uncrumple it, and then draw on it. And you can draw a picture of a pyramid or a King Tut or anything that you want, like a cave drawing. And the reason why I am suggesting to crumple it is because it makes it look like a cave, or it makes it look like the old paper that they had in Egypt, which was called papyrus. And they would make it out of pulp, like plants, and then they would wet it and then dry it out, and so it would have kind of like a wrinkly look to it. So you can draw any kind of picture you want about Egypt or the pyramids or the King Tut or treasures on a piece of paper bag. And then the last thing you can do at home is you can build a pyramid out of either Legos, if you have some Legos. If you're crafty and have some popsicle sticks, you can make a pyramid out of popsicle sticks, or a cereal box. And what you would need is to cut out some triangles for the sides. There's 3 sides. And then cut out a square for the bottom. And then you could tape it together and decorate it if you wanted to. Okay, guys, so we are about out of time for today. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.